Hello, cozy readers. My nickname is Ray Claire, and I'm starting this podcast sharing different books that I've read. My taste in reading varies from fiction to nonfiction novels, YA novels, graphic novels, comics, manga. I'll also share some of my past favorite children's books that got me into reading, and even some audiobooks. Without further ado, let's get into this episode. In today's episode, I will be discussing the book The Blue Castle by Lucy Maud Montgomery. If you would like to hear my review about the Anne of Green Gables series, you can listen to my previous podcast. I'll link it in the description. This novel differs from her others in that the main character is a grown woman and also she is not an orphan. In her other novels, a lot of her main characters are little girls who have either been orphaned or have been sent to live with another older relative. This was a refreshing change, and I wish she had written more books with adult characters, because Valency was a very interesting persona to read about. In my research, I found that the novel A Tangled Web by Montgomery was another one of her books that feature an adult character. However, I still have yet to read this novel. The Blue Castle was published in 1926 and is set in the early 1900s, and it is her only book to not feature Prince Edward Island as a setting. Instead, it is set in Muskoka, Ontario. Another new thing I learned while doing research for this podcast was that the novel was adapted for the stage, even becoming a musical at one point. And I'm curious to see how similar and dissimilar it is to the original story. Valency lives with her family, and although she lives close to them, she feels very distant to them. She is constantly outshone by her cousin, Olive, who is the golden child of the family. And her clan is very snobbish, critiquing their neighbors and anyone else they deem beneath them. Valency sees through their hypocrisy and critiques them to herself only. She is very quiet and has been constantly beaten down since she was a child. Her only form of escapism is through books. Then a letter arrives and changes her whole perspective. Valency decides that she's no longer going to be scared of her family's endless opinions and rules. Instead, she's going to finally live life by her own terms. And when she does, we see her grow as a person, fulfilling her true potential. Rather than having adventures only through the books that she reads, she actually lives them. And it reminded me of the main character in the modern version of the movie, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, starring Ben Stiller. Instead of just living in dreams, both of these characters actually decide to live. What I really enjoyed about this book, too, was Valency's humor, and by extension, Montgomery's humor, in poking fun at the societal norms of the day. I had been recommended this book to me when I was Valency's age, through a friend of mine who loves reading. I'll leave a link to her channel. She is much more well-read than I, and her book recommendations are more thorough. Her videos are older though, and she hasn't posted anything new in years, but her reviews still hold. Anyway, because I had been around the same age as the main character, and I related so much to her personality and also had similar experiences to what she'd been through, I quickly came to adore this book. It is another book that feels like home whenever I decided to reread it. I hope that you will enjoy reading it as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you go ahead and read something worthwhile. Tune in again for more episodes, and if you want more from me, you can also check out my main channel on YouTube at Ray Claire DeLune Art. Take care.